Xbox is breaking its promises and my heart. What's up, y'all? I'm Ray, and this is my channel, Xbox Ready, where I get on and I talk about Xbox stuff. Everything related to Xbox, the latest news, games, accessories, consoles, rumors, whatever. I talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I started this channel back in 2021, right as Xbox was, doing all this fanfare for their 20th anniversary, just a little bit under a year after the Series X and S launched. And at the time, I remember thinking, how is this gonna work out? Like, are there even enough people out there that really like Xbox or passionate about what they're doing, like me, in order to have a semi-decent channel? Over 200,000 subscribers and millions of views later, obviously I was proven wrong. But still though, choosing Xbox over something like PlayStation or even Nintendo, it still felt a little niche. Like choosing to go Android in a sea of iPhone users who just want to have blue chat bubbles. One of the reasons why I stuck with Xbox was that even though, yeah, their first party output was pretty slow from like 2019 through, a couple years after that, was that they were still showing some promise. They were still showing some life. They were doing things that other platform holders would never, ever, ever do in a million years. Disrupting the market a little bit. You got Sony over there with the PlayStations. They're like, yeah, you're gonna pay this much for a console, this much for a VR headset, this much for a controller, this much for a PlayStation Portal, and you're gonna like it. Whereas Xbox, they were really positioning themselves as this consumer-friendly, chill brand. Oh, you don't have the money, you don't have $500 to spend on our Series X? Don't worry, we got you. We got a cheaper console. It's called the Series S, and not as powerful, but you save $200. Yeah, we know games are getting more expensive. They went from $60 to $70. You don't want to spend $70 though? Don't worry about it. All of our games that we produce, we're gonna be putting day one onto something called Game Pass. I'm gonna sound old in this video. Back in my day, back when I first started the channel, you can get a Series X for $500. You can get a Series S for $300. Not the case anymore. And back then, there were only 3 tiers of Game Pass: PC Game Pass, Console Game Pass, and then you had Game Pass Ultimate. PC Game Pass was $10. Game Pass Console, that was $12. $15 for Game Pass Ultimate. On all 3 of those tiers, you could get those day one games. When Forza Horizon 5 came out, you can play it as part of your subscription. You can even play it a little bit early if you decided to shell out a couple of extra bucks for that pre-order bonus. All of that was really cool, man. And then things started to shift a little bit. Post Activision Blizzard merger, they were like, yeah, okay, we're restructuring Game Pass a little bit. That middle tier, Game Pass Console, not gonna have day one editions anymore. Those will come out a little bit later. If you wanna play the newest games, you're gonna have to subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate, which is now $20 a month. That middle tier, $15, PC Game Pass, $12 a month. And while no one likes paying more for a subscription that they've had for a while, me and a lot of other fans were still collectively willing to give them a pass because yes, while those day one editions were locked behind the $20 a month, we were finally getting a lot of day one editions. It wasn't like in the past when we were subscribed to either tier of Game Pass, when the one new game we'd get for months was like As Dusk Falls. No, they were adding bangers. Starting from June 2024, they were on a tear. Black Ops 6, Indiana Jones, Stalker 2, Doom the Dark Ages, Oblivion Remaster, Expedition 33, South of Midnight. So many other games that you can throw in there that we got to enjoy as soon as they came out as part of our subscription. The math just made sense. If you played 3 of those games when they came out as part of your subscription, that justified an entire year of Game Pass Ultimate, which would work out to be $240 a year. It was almost too good to be true. Like, how can they put their brand new games onto Game Pass? We know that they're losing money in terms of game sales. How long is this gonna last? Is this sustainable? And from everything that they were telling us, they were like, yes, Game Pass is profitable. It's here to stay. And from everything that we've seen from Microsoft this generation, we know that if it doesn't make money, they cut it immediately. They're not gonna mess around and support something that they don't think is financially reasonable. And just the other day after Tokyo Game Show, they were talking about how they were making the biggest investment into Game Pass to date. That was great news. I'm like, yes, this service that we all love is gonna get even better somehow. There had been a lot of rumors saying, oh, they're gonna add 1440p gaming, maybe a family plan that I know that they tested out. I don't know what the hell happened with that. And those changes are are coming, but damn, it's gonna sting, it's gonna cost us. Now we are seeing what made Xbox cool at the beginning of this generation, the silent promise that they made to us. We're seeing all of that slowly evaporate before our eyes, which is crazy because there's been so much talk about, oh, Xbox isn't what it used to be. And just as we were starting to get used to what Xbox is now, they decided to switch up on us. And I've been having a crazy ass couple of weeks, guys. A lot of crazy stuff going on, including a move. You could see that things look a little different compared to my other videos. My desk's not even set up. I got my TV set up. I got my Xbox set up, so we're good there. But lots of craziness going on, man. I rolled my damn ankle yesterday, so I was looking for some good news. I was like, I need something good to come into my life. And so when my buddy, who also helped me out on the channel, sent me this text saying, hey, check this out. I assume you already know, but I feel like this could make a really cool video detailing all these new changes coming to Game Pass, including a new name for that middle tier, Premium Game Pass. I was like, damn, this looks really cool. I'm reading through it and I'm like, all this stuff sounds really, really cool. We're getting that 1440p resolution with cloud gaming. Oh, and what is this? We're also getting Ubisoft Plus, a little bit of that as part of the Ultimate subscription as well. That was the natural conclusion after they were adding all these Far Cry games, Assassin's Creed games. We already got EA Play. Damn, the value of Game Pass Ultimate just keeps going up. You also get access to Fortnite Crew. That means nothing to me. I don't play Fortnite. I don't care about it, but still pretty cool. If you're a big fan of Assassin's Creed, you're getting a ton of new titles as part of that Ubisoft integration. Cloud gaming, no longer in beta. Gonna drop that beta tag. They're getting serious now after however long it's been in beta. What has it been, like 5 years? And you get a little bit of a kickback via Microsoft Rewards. I was like, damn, this looks really cool, man. I could see the video now. Xbox fans win. Yes, we got a major upgrade to Game Pass. This is awesome. And then it hit me. Because buried in this little graphic, which feels like they made it intentionally crazy in order to distract us, on top of all of this other stuff, in little tiny print, it says $29.99 a month, which represents a full $10 price increase from that previous $20 a month, a 50% price increase, however you want to call it. It's $30 a month now to be an Ultimate subscriber. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, that stings. That is crazy. That was not the good news that I was wanting to hear. Because let's not get it twisted, Game Pass Ultimate is the Game Pass that we all talk about as fans, what they talk about in marketing. Play these games day one. They're pushing Ultimate with that because that's how you get that perk. And like I said earlier, you play 3-4 games a year, you justify having your Game Pass subscription active for an entire year. Now that has shot up from $240 a year to $360 a year. And suddenly Xbox is underdog, not underdog, because they're backed by Microsoft, who is pushing, hey, cheaper consoles like the Series S. Hey, $15-20 a month to play our newest catalog of games. All of that is just out the window now. Now Series S consoles cost $400. Now Game Pass Ultimate to play those day one games costs $30 a month. The coolest thing about Xbox is now locked behind a subscription that for a lot of people is going to be prohibitively expensive. And that's a damn shame. And the only reason why I can think that they would do such a steep increase is to offset the revenue that they lose with game sales with their first party games. They threw in all this other stuff. Sure, we're getting an upgrade, but we're paying for it. I mean, a $5 increase I would be kind of okay with in light of all the other stuff that they're offering, but a $10 jump, that's steep. Damn, you couldn't ease us into it just a little bit? I assume this is gonna do a couple of things. One, a lot of people are gonna cancel their Ultimate subscription. Maybe they'll let it run for a little bit, but after they see that $30 charge to their bank account from Xbox, they're gonna be like, whoa, what is this? Cancel that Ultimate subscription, especially, again, if you're not playing a lot of these games. Good promise, but if you don't have the time, then what are you paying $30 a month for? Second, I assume this is going to drive a lot more people to buy games, but that might be an uphill battle because as fans, we've been accustomed to playing these first-party games, especially as part of our subscription. It might also drive a lot of people to downgrade their membership to that $15 a month option. It's so weird because I read through this entire Xbox Wire post, the whole section about Game Pass Ultimate, and nowhere does it say 30 bucks a month. It mentions all this cool stuff about these games that you'll get to play, these perks that you'll get to enjoy. And even in this little graphic about Ultimate itself, doesn't say anything about the price. Whereas if you go down, you scroll down to Game Pass Premium, it mentions the price right away. Listen, it's still 15 bucks a month. Plus, you're gonna get cloud gaming, online gaming. You'll get access to PC Game Pass, which is cool. But it's so sneaky that they didn't talk about that $30 a month in the paragraph preceding that. It's not until you get to the very end where it says, hey, with the latest upgrades, Ultimate is now priced at 30 bucks a month. Standard, same price at 15, Core or Essential, it's gonna be 10. So let's wrap this up. Yes, we're getting a lot more extra stuff on the Ultimate tier. Gonna be paying for it. 30 bucks a month. All tiers now include access to cloud gaming. That's pretty cool, especially if you're on those lower tiers. And hey, I do want to throw them a bone because I do think it was nice that they set an expectation for that middle tier Game Pass Premium on when to expect first party games within a year. Because previously they were kind of loosey-goosey with it. Starfield had been out for well over a year when they did all this restructuring and it still wasn't on that middle tier of Game Pass. So now you know, oh yeah, when they release Forza Horizon 6, it's going to come out, it's going to be added to Game Pass Ultimate, and within a year, probably at the very tail end of the year, it's going to come to Game Pass Premium. I wanted to say standard, but Premium. Premium's definitely a better name. This is an absolutely insane way to start off October, especially when you just announced the price increases for the consoles here in the US. Especially when a lot of people are talking about how expensive the ROG Ally Xbox X freaking thing is. And when it comes to the hardware, they had an easy scapegoat, at least here in the United States. Tariffs. Oh, it's all about the tariffs. We didn't want to do it, but we had to do it. With Game Pass? With Game Pass? No, that's kind of, no. Now we're in different territory here. Y'all did that because you wanted to. 30 bucks a month, man. I pay for my Ultimate subscription. I think a lot of people watch the channel, they just think I get everything Xbox related free. Not my Ultimate subscription. I gotta pay for that myself. And now I'm in another 120 bucks a year because I gotta keep up to date with it. I at least gotta try it. I gotta try that 1440p cloud gaming, really see if it's worth it. But then again, I'm a guy who lives and breathes this stuff. I have a whole channel dedicated to it. But at 30 bucks a month, they're definitely pricing out a lot of casual fans who may have been sort of interested in trying out Ultimate. Seeing that 30 bucks a month, it's like, I could buy a game with that. But maybe they don't care because, well, they're selling their games on all platforms now. Steam, PlayStation, sometimes Nintendo. Cloud gaming is going to be included in all three tiers, which we know is something that they're relying on in terms of their growth heading into the future. So maybe they don't care. They're like, yeah, we got this thing. We lured people in, and the people who are going to want to stick around, we'll continue to support it for them as long as they're willing to pay while we move on to other stuff. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, especially heading into next generation. What is this gonna look like? We're already talking about Xbox, console, PC hybrids. It's just too much for my little heart to take at this chaotic point in my life. Maybe if the internet makes enough noise, they get roasted enough, Xbox will walk back their prices. I don't know. It's a long shot, but they've done it before. Like when they were gonna price Outer Worlds 2 at 80 bucks and a lot of people complained and they were like, no, never mind. It's back down to 70 bucks. Maybe we can get something going with that, but damn, I'm not gonna lie, this stings a little bit because this is by far the single biggest upgrade that we've gotten to Game Pass Ultimate and all the time that I've been covering it. Previous to this, there's just been an uptick in good games being added to the library. Now this, we're actually getting tangible, cool features and additions, but for it to come at the cost of a price increase after a lot of people have been loyal and bought into the idea of Game Pass, the value of it for years, that stings. I cannot lie. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Let me know what you think about this new Game Pass craziness down in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.